Hello, this is Sudha from Iswas Life. In this episode, I want to talk to you about the minimum hourly rates, wages in US, and also I'll be talking about the tips as well, the tipping policy in US. So in US, the federal government actually set like a minimum hourly wage that needs to be paid, the minimum, the most minimum. So the most minimum hourly wage currently it is $7.25. And also every state in US they have their own minimum wages rule. So the state where I'm living in, the standard minimum wage last year, that is from Jan 1st 2021, it was 13.55 cents. It has been increased up to like $14.25 starting this year, Jan 1st 2022. So that is the minimum wage you pay like to an employee here. Like that's the lowest minimum you need to pay, the per law. Okay. Then there is like another wage called the tipped minimum wage. So the tipped minimum wage last year it was $5.55 in the state where I live. This year it went up to like $6.15. So what is a tipped minimum wage? Okay, that means then we need to talk about tips in US. Okay, so the tips is something like they expect in a lot some industries around here. Like you go for like service, for example, you go to a restaurant and the server pays you, the server actually serves you food, so you are supposed to leave some tips for the server. That is like the kind of like accepted practice in US. Most of the time you pay like around 15%, an average is 15% of the total bill excluding the taxes. uh, However, I have seen like people who leave like 20%, 25% tips for servers, and if you don't like the food or anything, you can actually leave like 10% tips, or maybe no tips, but it is generally frowned upon. So the tip minimum wage applies for those kind of people where they are expected to get some tips. I know for sure the restaurant employees are part of it, but I know like when I go for haircut also I pay my person who is doing the haircut some tips. I don't know whether they are part of this tip minimum wage. I am not too sure. I probably not. But I'm just saying, like, so there are some class of people who comes under the tip minimum wage. So they are supposed to be, so the employer pays them that minimum wage, plus they get that additional wage from the tips. And and sometimes if they are not getting that additional wage, the standard minimum wage, they are not reaching there even with the tips, then the employer has to give them. So that is the kind of policy here. So now you got it, like how it works here. So the standard minimum wage, most of the time it applies for the people like for example, like people who are working in a grocery store, they are actually like the bill at the bill counter, the person who is taking that taking the bill. So those kind of people normally they are getting paid around that kind of range, like the standard minimum range. But again, this is the minimum you can pay to an employee in US. So I hope you like this video about the minimum wage in US along with the tips policy. And again, this is Sudha from Iswas Life. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll come with some other videos another time.